All right, good evening, everybody. It's March 4th, and this is our Sunday night Dreamlifters call. We're excited because for the first time, we are having a guest speaker on our call tonight. So I'm going to quickly introduce her, and then we're going to get into talking a little bit about enrolling. So tonight we have Miss Ashley Sanger with us. Some of you probably know her from the Facebook pages. Some of you may have actually met her in person at some of our events like convention or maybe leadership or some other events where we've come in contact. Ashley's been with doTERRA, is it 5 years now?
It'll be 4 in June.
4 in June, okay. I've just known her for a while, so maybe
our families go way back.
Our families go way back, so I get a little confused. But in 4 years, you know, when she started doTERRA, she had a full-time job, she had children, and she also had a full-time farm.
Yep.
So fast forward to today, and Ashley's still building doTERRA. And she has that as her full-time business, but she has 2 children, and she still has the full-time farm, which means she's a very busy person. But on top of all of that, she's built to the rank of gold, and she has been a consistent enroller, top enroller on, under my mom's team. And I think averaging 5 to 7 enrollments a month personally.
Yeah, I would say like 4 to 5 on average. Last month was a really good month, but New Year is always helpful.
I was told a little higher than that, but we'll go with the modest amount.
Well, I guess averages. I don't know.
She's always had, at least we'll go 4 to 6. We'll average it out to make her feel better. But she brings in, and then she's taught her team to do that same process. So she's done that for 4 years consistently. So I wanted to bring her on here to kind of encourage you, maybe give you some different options and different strategies in how to get this done, because there's me talking about it, and maybe you have heard me talk about it and you think, oh yeah, well we know you, Steph, but let's hear somebody else's story and version, because it's always good to get a different perspective. So I'm going to introduce, that's a little bit of Ashley's story. I'm going to let Ashley talk for a couple minutes, and then I'm just going to ask her some questions, and then I'm going to give you guys a chance to ask her some questions. So welcome, Ashley. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
What else would you like to add?
Just that doTERRA just has truly been such a huge blessing in my life, and I know probably every one of you have certain ways that doTERRA has blessed you. When I first started using doTERRA, when I was first introduced to oils by my aunt, who is Steph's mom's BFF, I had zero intention of building the business. I had done the Mary Kay thing back in the day and spent like $2,400 worth of makeup on my very first credit card at like 22 years old. And quickly realized I was not passionate about makeup and I did not like sales. So when I was introduced to doTERRA and my Aunt Lisa Ford mentioned, oh, you could earn some money, I wasn't really into that. I was like, been there, done that. It doesn't really work for me. I don't like sales. So, but like everyone else in doTERRA, fell in love with the oils and started naturally telling people about them, because you're going to tell the people you love about something that's amazing. And then the money started coming in a little bit, and I just was like, wow, this is kind of neat. I really want everybody to know about these things. And then I just kind of fell into it. And it's truly been just the biggest thing. I never thought I didn't know how I was going to be home with my kids. When I was working full-time in a medical office, ironically enough, I was like, I don't know how I'll ever be able to stay home. But with doTERRA, the Lord just opened a doorway that has completely led me to my calling, my ministry, and my passion. And I just truly feel it's my obligation to teach as many people about oils as possible. So it's really kind of what keeps me going. And then the fact that, I am home with my kids now, it's just amazing. So love my oils, love my business, love everything about it.
Cool. So when you did get started, you had a really, really busy schedule. So
Yes.
how did you find, I mean, with a farm and a family and a full-time job, how did you carve out the time to even get started?
I think it was really just truly seeing the opportunity that doTERRA had available, and seeing and meeting and knowing and becoming friends with so many people that had realized that opportunity. Just really kind of kept me motivated and excited about it. So I, while I was stretched a little bit thin, like this was what I really loved to do. And so in the beginning, it's almost like that's what I was doing for me, as my time and things like that. And I don't know, it was a priority for me because I believed in it and I saw the opportunity and I wanted it. And so I was going to get it. I'm very motivated like that. So it's all a matter of wanting it enough and knowing it's achievable, because it's so evident that it's achievable. I mean, just look around on the Oil Frenzy page. I mean, people are doing some amazing things. So it's a great opportunity that everybody can really kind of take hold of and run with. And so that's kind of, I just saw the value there and made it a priority.
Awesome. So when you got started, we all here in just about any kind of direct sales, network marketing kind of thing, you have to create your 100 names list. Did you start with one of those?
I did not. I didn't, only because I wasn't really told to do that. So Lisa and I kind of were like the first people really sharing from our team in this area, that at least that I know of. So we were kind of just hit the ground running and did, we were teaching a lot of classes and that was kind of the priority. But that being said, I wish I had started with my names list. That would have been very helpful. And it is exactly how I coach all my new builders. That is one of the very first assignments they get. So it is definitely something that's very valuable. And, I always recommend to people, instead of, I'm a spreadsheet person. I love Excel, but I really love to write. And so getting a small notebook that you can carry with you, that you can constantly be adding to and updating your names list is really important, because you think of people on the fly, or you give somebody oils on the fly, and then if you don't write it down, you forget. And then you've got all these leads that are just hanging out there that you didn't put on your names list, so you forgot about them. So names list, very important.
Yeah. And that's a great tip right there. Keep that notebook, like if you got one of these from convention or something like that, keep it with you. And then you can always write down the names and stuff and, write people's names down. Or if you have a calendar that you can do that in, that's a really, really good tip. So when you got started, you probably did you go through your phone, or like you just start calling your friends? And
phone is great. I just started posting on Facebook, and my posts were 100% just testimonials and just how incredibly I was impacted by the oils. It wasn't even necessarily with the intent to sell. It was truly with the intent to relay to other people how amazing this was, because a lot of people don't take essential oils seriously. It's becoming more mainstream now, so people are definitely a lot more receptive to it. 4 years ago, it wasn't quite as popular, and but I just wanted people to know how powerful they were. And so sharing that was really kind of how I started. And then, of course, the people I was close with, they've heard about oils till their heads probably exploded at that point. But they were all getting the same experiences, because I was making sure that everybody got to try this. And that's just, that passion was just contagious, and people, they sensed my belief, and especially, those who respected me were like, okay, well, maybe there's something to this. So
moving forward, I know we have a lot of people here who have done the Emerge training, like you and I have.
Amazing.
So, it is amazing training.
Amazing.
But going through, since you have, let me see, I wrote this down and I didn't word it very well. But going from the beginning at 4 years, from 4 years ago till now, have you burned through your warm contact list and now you try and do Emerge? How have you transitioned into that to keep enrolling at the same level?
So Emerge has been life-changing. I had, from the time I was introduced to Emerge last, I think it was April or so, from that point on, I probably had twice the enrollments in that time period than I did the entire year before. So I think it just is a matter of a couple things. I mean, it's not, I still enroll warm market people because some warm market people take like 2 years to be ready to enroll, and that's just how it is. But I think what's getting them to enroll is the fact that I'm able to sit down and do an appointment with them that is truly, meets their needs. And then, referrals, I never even thought of asking for referrals. It was always find someone to host a class, and then the people they brought in, hopefully you can make a connection with and move into other warm markets that way. But this referral process for asking for referrals at every appointment or every membership overview has been huge. I have tapped into other people's warm markets that have become explosive growth areas for my team. And these are people I never would have met before had I not asked the person I just served at an appointment for referrals. So that was truly a revolutionary thing for me and my business. They say in the Emerge that asking for referrals will solve every problem in your business. And it truly does, especially in the regard of not getting stalled or not, running out of that warm market. So yeah, it's been huge. Get that referral script down and start doing it. It'll be the best thing that you could do for your business.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't familiar with what she's talking about, so when you go through Emerge, they give you a lot of different scripts they help you write different scripts so that they're in the language that you speak, not English, and just, how you would word something, because we're all going to talk a little differently. I'm going to use awesome probably a lot more than a lot of you do. And I'm going to say things a little differently than you would say them. And then at the end, you present the question, would you like to get your kit? Would you like big bottles or little bottles? And then you move right into how you would ask for the referral. And, maybe at the end of this call, we might have Ashley do her referral process so that you guys get that down a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. But so in that process, with how you're doing Emerge now, how many people, just so they can get an idea, how many people do you typically talk to per week? And then what does that turn into for your conversion rate?
It fluctuates, especially because we've been doing Spoil, so it's a little bit different. We've been getting referrals through Spoil, but it's a different process than through an appointment. I would say probably about at least half of the people that I ask for referrals provide them. I usually ask for 5 at a time, and most people are happy to give me 5 because I offer incentives for chunks of 5. So I have all kinds of goodies that they can pick from. So I'd say probably about half give referrals, and then out of every 5 referrals, I get anywhere from, well, sometimes it's 0, sometimes it's 3 appointments. So I'd say an average of about 1 to 2 appointments per, and that's just cold calling referrals. So it's definitely a good ratio. My perspective on what success really looks like has changed thanks to Emerge as well, because typically I'd be like, oh, I'm going to call 5 referrals, and if I don't get 5 appointments, then I failed. But truly success is scheduling 1 appointment out of 5 referrals. That's success. And so that's been kind of helpful in kind of changing my perspective on what success looks like. So
that's a big point too. Success is not always 100%. Mm-hmm. In school, we're taught if you don't get 100, then you didn't pass. You're not doing good if you don't get, all these different things. But success in our business is not necessarily 100%. Success in our business is moving forward. enrolling another one? Do you have one enrollment? Do you have no enrollments? Did you even try? So that's a really good thing. And so I think that's a cool thing that you pointed out. I'm going to open it up to questions from other people, the group here, and let them ask you a few questions, because you kind of gave a little bit more, you kind of gave all the questions that I had, but I want to let them ask, because I wanted to make sure that they had time, and we're not going to make this too long for everybody, but I wanted to let everybody have a little bit of time, and then maybe we'll do a couple little role plays to give some people some ideas on scripting and maybe how to go about that enrollment process and see how to get that going for anybody. So who wants to ask a question? Anybody? Russ has a question.
Ashley. So would you say that the majority of your contacts at this point come from referrals alone, or do you have another source of reaching out and contacting people?
I would say at least half come from referrals at this point, or referrals that have tapped me into other warm markets that have given me the opportunity. So maybe it's not 100% referrals, but those referrals lead to greater opportunity. I'm a little bit of a social butterfly, and I just want to oil the world. So I do make a lot of contacts just in daily life as well, but not near the amount that I do with referrals. That just provides a much greater opportunity than typically. I mean, I'm home with my kids now, so I'm not out quite as much as I used to be. but yeah, I would say it's a good 50%.
I have another question. Just to, are you doing most of your appointments via the phone, via Zoom, or are you doing them in person?
I do probably 90% of my appointments over the phone, which has another thing that's been completely revolutionary. With having two kids, 4 and 2 years old, it's hard to find a sitter. I live in Emmitsburg, which is a rural area, at least 30 minutes away from pretty much everything. So, getting together with people, teaching classes was really hard for me, and was a little bit hard on my family. Now, I'm not like devaluing classes. Classes are really amazing, really important. I try to make sure I teach at least 1 to 2 a month. But I have found that the majority of my business has turned into appointments via phone. Now, I would recommend Zoom, because Zoom is way cooler. But because I live in a rural area, I have limited Wi-Fi. So I only have mobile data. We don't have Wi-Fi out here. So I usually do the phone. I do all my membership overviews over Zoom, though. I think that's really important. But yeah, phone appointments are awesome. I had no idea that you could enroll someone you've never met over the phone who's never smelled an oil, but you totally can.
So did you guys hear that? You can enroll people who you've never met that have never smelled an oil over the phone. I hope you all wrote that down. I did it the other day. Go ahead.
One question. I'm not a social butterfly, but how would you define a warm market? You mentioned that term or that phrase. What's a warm market?
Warm market would be like my friends, my family, people who know me, my basic contacts, people who know my name, who I know their name, that type of thing. So yeah, basically friends and family.
Your cold market is more defined as like you just walk into, a health food store and say, hey, my name's Ken. I love oils and I think you should love them too. And they go, what? Who are you? I said my name is Ken and I love oils and you should too. And it's awkward, and for a lot of times it can make you feel, it's really nerve-wracking in my opinion to do that. But by getting the referrals like she's talking to, and we'll do a little role play here in a minute of how you get that. You can kind of overcome some of that knot in your stomach when you call these people, because you've already probably been vetted by them and been given a little bit of like leeway, and they may actually preempt the person to say, hey, this person's going to call you and they're really nice and they're going to offer you oils and it's going to be awesome.
Okay,
The other cool thing about calling referrals, so not every referral that's given to me is notified that I'm going to be calling them. So what makes me confident is the fact that I literally have scripts for everything. So I have a script for calling referral. 9 times out of 10, they don't answer because they don't know my number. So I have voicemail number 1 script. So I'm not nervous when they pick up the phone, because if they answer, I've got a script. And if they don't answer, I've got a script. And I script everything now. And I struggled with that a little at first, especially when I was trying to teach my team to do it, because I'm like, scripts just don't seem authentic. But that's not true, because your scripts you build your own scripts. But also everybody needs the same information. So why reinvent the wheel every single time with every single person just trying to be authentic? You know, scripts bring the confidence, and scripts are what allow anybody to be successful in this, because you know exactly what to say and what information you want to relay. And the beautiful thing about Emerge is that they show you exactly what those scripts need to include to best serve the customer, not overwhelm them, all that type of thing. So I kind of went on a tangent, but basically I have scripts for when I cold call people. So cold calling referrals terrified me at first. And I am a good communicator, I think. And I don't mind. I love meeting the people and talking to people, but cold calling people was terrifying. So making that first call was scary, but then you did that first one and I just started leaving the same voicemail for everybody. And I was getting, responses, sometimes not to the second or third call. I call people 3 times before I stop bugging them. But scripts, man, scripts for everything. It's great.
So do you knock out all your calls in like one time frame?
Yeah, I try to, because I have to. So when you call them for the first time and they don't answer, so you're leaving them a voicemail, letting them know you're going to call them again in an X amount of time. So with me having kids, I have to kind of block my time as I can. So if I receive 5 referrals on a Sunday, I'll call them on a Monday and then let them know I'm going to call them again on a Wednesday. So I can schedule when I'm going to bang out those calls. So that I can be consistent with actually calling him back when I told him I was going to try him again. So you kind of think of it that way.
How much time does that take?
Oh my gosh. Calling 5 referrals takes maybe 10 minutes when no one answers the phone.
Okay.
Maybe 10 minutes. It's very quick.
Okay. I'm just giving everybody the time frame, because we've got some people who work the 40-hour jobs, and some of their concerns are, how much time will it take me if I'm doing this? So I want to just, kind of give them that warm fuzzy that this doesn't really, calling 5 people is not like calling your best friend and then having to have a 2-hour conversation.
Right. Exactly. And it's the same thing when you schedule appointments with them. So I don't know how many of you have done one-on-ones before where you're sitting with someone and you end up sitting there with them for 2.5 hours, and you've basically dumped all your oil knowledge on them because it's wonderful information and it's super important for them to know, and you sit there for 2 hours and then they don't enroll, and because they're overwhelmed, and overwhelmed and confused people can't make a purchasing decision. So I'm doing appointments and I tell them it's going to be a 30-minute appointment, and I can usually keep it to about 30 to 45 minutes depending on how chatty they are and how much more they want to talk. But usually my appointments never run longer than an hour over the phone. So I cut out travel time, and I cut out, all that excess time I spend confusing them.
Yeah, I did one on Thursday or Friday, 35 minutes. Didn't know her. She was referred to me, called her, introduced myself. What I usually do, that's how we start them. What I usually do is I get to talking about this and get to know what you need, and boom. Here are the issues that we would talk about with anxiety and stress and headaches and and you're not compliant,
No, not compliant.
they don't know what compliance is.
It's over the phone. It's not on the internet.
It's on the phone, it's not on the internet, and you just talk to them like a person. And so I told them, hey, we use lavender and frankincense for stress, and we use peppermint for headaches, and you want to purify a room, lemon and On Guard are great for that. And then here's what else you would get in the kit, and here's how good it would be. Here's how you would use it. That sounds great. Would you like to get started? We have 2 kits that would be great for you. Boom, boom. Okay, well, I have a diffuser, so the Family Essentials kit would be great for you at $150. Boom, she was done. I did it all before my kids got home, and I had to fight to tell them to shh.
I still have to do that a lot. We aren't in school yet.
So, anybody else have any questions?
So what do you actually say when you're talking to them on the phone? How do you, because when I signed up, I had a video chat with staff, but I never really thought about actually doing just on the phone. I find that frustrating because I'm so visual.
Mm-hmm. So are you asking like what I talk about in the appointment or how I set the appointment? What I say to set the appointment?
What you talk about in the appointment.
Okay. Really, you provide them an agenda with what you're going to cover, and it's basically you focus on their health goals. You briefly mention co-impact and CPTG because that's the doTERRA difference. And then after you find out about their health goals, you just basically go through the top 10 oils and plug all of their health needs into that top 10 so that they quickly see the value in those oils. And then after you've addressed all of their needs in those 10 oils, you offer them 2 kits, okay? Family Essentials, Home Essentials. That's all I talk about in an appointment. And then ask them, which is better, which would best meet your family's needs, and then they'll usually answer, whatever's appropriate. And then I ask them, okay, would you like to go ahead and get set up with that? And, there's some steps for troubleshooting if, they're concerned about price or, need to talk to their husband, things like that. But typically, if you've really addressed their needs and really helped them see the value in those oils based upon what they're suffering with, that really resonates with people. And then when I'm setting the appointment, I also let them know that there's no obligation to buy anything. And some network marketing trainings say never say that, never say that. But removing the pressure to buy is huge for people. So yeah, it's really just about serving them really, really well and helping them learn how to use the top 10 for their specific. I also talk about LLV. So the top 10 in LLV, that's kind of the catch-all, because if they've got health problems like diabetes or things that don't necessarily plug into just the top 10 oils, you can kind of use LLV as a catch-all. But yeah, it's definitely about them. So one thing that struck me with Emerge when I first did the Zoom with Tasha, the creator of the system, she said, nobody cares about your story, and which is so what we have not heard in doTERRA. They're like, tell your story, tell your story, tell your story. And I'm not saying that that's not important. And I straight up said to her, I said, wait a second. I said, I have this story with my kid and I've had so many people resonate with that. And she's like, yeah, because they have kids and have been in that situation. But like, a 30-year-old guy doesn't care about how oils cured my kid's ear infection. That's not what's going to bring him. He doesn't care. So your story is important, but their story is most important. Right. And as long as you are focusing on them, they will see, you will gain that buy-in. They will see the value. They will see that how it's going to solve their problems and meet their needs. And that's why they're going to buy. They're not going to buy it because, it cured my kid's ear infection. They're going to use it because they've got severe back pain, and that deep blue is going to be something that's, very helpful for them. So you just got to remember to keep it about them.
So when you actually close it and they actually purchase, do you have them go on the internet and you talk through it, or do you?
Oh, no. I never.
I don't know.
Even retail orders, I don't send people to my website ever. I take their orders, I take their info, I do it for them. So, the great thing about appointments is if somebody, you step down, if they're not cool with either kit, they're not in a position to do that, then you offer the $55 enrollment option with the intro kit and the $35 membership. And if they're still not cool with that, offer them retail. I know I do very little retail, but basically they're paying for their own samples that way. So you can offer them retail, but I always take the information over the phone. Everything they would need to enroll, I just write it down, and then I go do it whether I enroll them or whether I go to my website and enter in their stuff as a customer.
So do you use a standard password then for them and then let them change it later?
Yeah. I set everybody's password to the exact same thing and then allow them to change it when we do their membership overview if they want to.
So it's when you do the membership overview is when you show them the website and how to work it.
Yes. So you want to be very, very careful in that initial appointment to not overwhelm. So and this is another crazy thing that some people in doTERRA would be like, what? I don't talk about LRP in appointments. I don't even mention loyalty rewards in their initial appointment because I always schedule the membership overview right then and there. And they always want to do the membership overview because I'm like, okay, the next step is for you and I to talk when your oils get here. I need to help you develop protocols for your needs, learn how to use these, make the most of your investment. And then I need to show you around your online account so you know how to place reorders in the future, things like that. So then I do their membership overview either in person or on video chat, and I screen share or have my laptop if we're in person. And I actually log into their account for them. We set up their LRP order. Again, membership overview is done completely by script. It's just a beautiful, beautiful process. So they're ready for LRP after they've got their oils in hand, after they've got membership figured out, or, their decision based on what they want to do membership wise, then LRP is the next step.
Back at home, and you can't be out driving around, or you're tired and you don't want to go out and do classes and things like that. You take that 100 names list and you say, okay, I'm going to knock out and call 2 or 3 people this week and see if I can't talk to them about oils. And if you're starting with your own warm market and you work on the scripts, and I've posted in our Dreamlifters group, there's scripts that have been posted that you can go and alter to make them how you want. And I think I don't know how many scripts that I've put in there, but there's numerous scripts in there that I've posted that I posted when I took Emerge in the fall that you can go in and alter and use to your liking. And it'll give you an idea of kind of what you're talking about. And that will help you through that process to not feel like you have to get all dressed up, and you can really be enrolling people over the phone in your pajamas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like I said, you can do that sort of thing really anywhere at any time, and really help get your business. If you're feeling like you're stalled or you want to grow more and you just really don't feel like getting out there and teaching, you can do it right there. If you're laying in bed, if you're sitting on the couch, if you're sitting at a computer and you're all decked out, you can do it anywhere. You can do it on your lunch hour, because you can eat for 30 minutes and you can do an appointment for 30 minutes, however you want to work it. Mm-hmm.
So how long does your overview take with them if you're going to go through and teach them how to do their LRP and walk them in through that, and you're going over and helping them figure out their specific protocols with the basic oils they've got? About how long does that second appointment usually take you then?
No more than an hour, unless they're either a friend or just someone who's really chatty and wants to, because you do review their health goals again in the membership overview, plugging in the top 10 like you did in the initial appointment, but then also creating a wish list of other products they want to consider. So when you're reviewing those health goals, you're showing them how to use what they've got, and then you're saying, but you also might want to consider X, Y, Z. And then all of a sudden they've got a wish list there. So the next step is say, okay, now I'm going to show you the best way to order, which is through loyalty rewards. A lot of people make mistakes here. I want to make sure that you don't miss out. And then you just, with their permission, log into their account, and then you can just plug in all those wish list items into a template and say, okay, you got a month to edit this. I'm just going to throw everything in your cart right now so that you can see the prices of everything on your wish list together. And then you can just work backwards and delete things out based upon what you're looking to actually spend. And it works really, really well. I would say out of every 10 membership overviews I do, 9 of them save an LRP.
So membership, membership overviews are a huge thing. So enrollment, and then I wanted to point this, one thing I didn't say at the beginning is last year at Leadership, one of the top things that Corey Lindley said for people who want to achieve the rank that they're looking to achieve and continue to keep the rank they want to achieve is that you've got to enroll. Enrollments keep that. It's not time to rank. It's not, so it doesn't matter if it took you 6 months to hit a rank or 6 years to hit a rank. It's the amount of enrollment that you have and how much you consistently enroll. And that's what the common denominator was. And that was from Corey Lindley, who's the Chief Financial Officer at doTERRA. So he's a total numbers guy. And who knows what he's going to talk about in a week. And I'm kind of excited to hear what, who knows. I never thought I would be excited to hear what the numbers guy has to say, but he always comes out with something that kind of blows our mind that, he talks about how good the company's doing, but then he comes out with, here's what you guys are doing, and here's how you guys can do this all better. And he always comes out with something like that. And last year, that was the big thing because people were, how do I get back to the rank that I want, or how do I get to the rank I want? And he came back and he said, you've got to focus on your enrolling. So does anybody else have any other questions?
There's a question that was posted by Patty on your page. What are some of the incentives you use when asking for referrals?
Okay, what are some of the incentives you use?
Very, 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 very inexpensive, but super appealing. So diffuser bracelets are big. I just buy, I make them. I just buy the natural stone beads and lava beads off of Amazon. So diffuser bracelets are big. I do roller blends. I'll do a Balance and Serenity blend, Liquid Calm, because those are oils that typically don't come in the kit they purchased because most of my people are doing the family essentials or home essentials. Or peppermint and wild orange. I also had sold these little sample packs of oils at a vendor event, like Stress Pack and Pain Pack and things like that. And so I had some of those left over. So I just let them pick, and I let them know for every 5 they can pick something. So if somebody really wants a diffuser bracelet and really wants that Liquid Calm roller, they're more inclined to give me 10 referrals. And that's another reason why I like to do membership overviews either in person or over Zoom so that they can actually see what I'm offering. I tried doing the membership overviews over the phone. It is possible, but it's very difficult to walk them through setting up their LRP template when you're not sharing a screen. And then it's also a little bit more difficult to get referrals when they're not getting excited about what you have to offer because they just can't picture it. So those are some of the things I do. Very cheap. I would say it doesn't cost more than $1 for any of the incentives that I offer.
Good choices. Good choices. So does anybody want to do the, would you be willing to do kind of a, you don't have to do the full well, let's do the referral, how you ask for referrals. Would anybody like to be the guinea pig on how you ask for referrals? Anybody want to play the person that has just gotten their membership overview and you're now getting asked for referrals, and we can have somebody be positive and we can have somebody be negative. Anyone?
You don't really have to do much.
Just follow along. Nora can go. Nora just take gold. She can lead the way.
Yay, Nora!
Okay.
So basically we have just kind of wrapped up the close, and whether you enrolled or not, we've kind of worked through all that. And then so where I then go from there is, so before we wrap up, I want to share with you one way you could really help me out. Essential oils are truly a incredibly powerful but highly underutilized resource, and I really feel that it's my mission to share this information with as many people as possible. Throughout our time together, I'm sure you've probably had some people come to mind that you think the oils might be helpful for, and I would really love to help them. They don't have to be anybody you think for sure is going to buy anything, just somebody who you think may have a need or might be interested in learning more about essential oils. All I'll do is give them a quick call to see if they're interested in setting up a time to talk and learn a little bit more, just like we did here today. So for every 5 names and phone numbers you give me, you can pick something out of my little bag of tricks here. I've got blah, 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 and I share what I've got, show them. You know, did you have anybody who, you know, you would like to share their contact information? I just need names and phone numbers. How about it, Nora? I know you want a diffuser bracelet.
Usually I don't wear that stuff.
Well, then I know you want that liquid calm roller. You said you were stressed. This is Xanax here. I didn't say
that. I guess I would have to look and see, because I would have to think about that a little bit. So if I did 5, I get this, right?
Yeah, and a really easy way to come up with that is just grab your phone and start scrolling through your contacts. I can sit here and, you know, wait with you, scroll through your phone, or hop, you know, if you're online, hop on Facebook, grab and, you know, hop into your friends list. You know, there's a lot of people you're probably not thinking of that would, you know, when you saw their names, you might be like, oh, right, that person might be good.
So you're basically saying, okay, look on my phone here and see what have I got. Done that. Okay. So I would just tell you, like Judy Savantino, I would tell you that and give you her phone numbers, right?
Yep.
I
And I have some people that are like, can I just shoot you an email with them, and you can, that's okay, as long as you say, okay, shoot those to me when we get off of here. If, you know, you can get those over to me by 8 o'clock, I'll drop this in the mail to you tomorrow, or, you know, we can hook up, whatever, if they're local. But you want to try and not leave it super open-ended up to them, because then sometimes they don't come through. But yeah. So.
I know there's a way to just send you the numbers off my phone.
Yeah, you could totally text the name cards, or at least that's what it's called on Android. I'm not sure what iPhone is.
I need to figure that out.
That's all right. Well, why don't you just read me the numbers and I'll write it down here in my notebook.
To everybody else, does that sound difficult to do for asking for referrals? Does it sound awkward? No?
And I was trying to be reluctant too.
Words teaches you how to work around all that. They teach you lots of tips and things.
You're gonna get people who just either can't think of somebody right off the top of their head, or they may be hesitant, and you either have to like encourage them that I'm not gonna, you know, if they had a great experience with you during this enrollment and membership overview, there shouldn't be an issue with helping you out and giving you referrals. It really shouldn't be like, oh, no, unless there's just some sort of real issue with that person. They may be struggling to think of people, and you have to help them think of other people. Mm-hmm. And it's more of that. It shouldn't be an issue of, oh, I'm not sharing my friends with you.
Right.
Because it should never be that. It should be more, you know, you just have to help jog their memory.
Well,
okay.
So this isn't 100% Emerge approved, but what I do is, so if somebody enrolls, I don't ask for referrals after their enrollment. I know Emerge would say to do it the other way, but I don't do that only because I know for certain that I'm doing a membership overview with them, and then I ask them after the membership overview. you know, like you said, when somebody feels truly served and truly helped, and like you're removing that pressure, you know, like it doesn't have to be somebody you think for sure is going to buy. All I'm going to do is give them a quick call, see if they want to learn more. You know, you really, you know, just kind of, and then also asking them, say, one way you can really help me out. So when you've really helped them out and you say, okay, one way you can help me out, then they feel like, oh yeah, you know, I'm happy to help you out, that type of thing. But the cool thing about referrals is that you can take an appointment where somebody doesn't enroll and then you ask for referrals, and they're oftentimes more likely to give you referrals because they feel kind of bad about not buying anything. So if I have a person who doesn't enroll, but they give me 5 referrals, I see that as more valuable than an enrollment. So because that's 5 more warm markets I have the potential to tap into, 5 other people's realms that, you know, I would have had no way to reach before. So you can kind of turn what you would normally feel like a failure into a success, you know, by just collecting referrals. They're that valuable.
So if any of their referrals sign up, do you give them anything extra, or do you, you know, let them know that so-and-so signed up and that you really, do you give them a thank you card or something that completes that loop?
I do keep them informed if anybody enrolls, but then I also use that as an opportunity to present the business to them, because if they provide referrals who are then enrolling, ideally, I would love to place them under that person. Right. But obviously, if that person has 0 interest in the business, you know, you're not going to place them under there, because typically you're enrolling them as wholesale customers anyways. It's not even an option. But I have had a couple people who just enrolled as customers and provided referrals. I've actually been able to kind of like spark that interest in the business, because they're like, oh, you're so-and-so enrolled. You know, doTERRA gives me the opportunity to place these people, and I know they're your friends and family. So that you would be the ideal person to place them under. You know, do you have any interest at all in you know, sharing doTERRA, even just get your oils paid for? And you can really kind of, you know, I've had some builders pop out of that, which has been another huge plus of asking for referrals.
Well, I have one gal, she's given me referrals, and I've enrolled 3, and she is not interested at all.
So then that's fine too. Put them where you need them.
4,
you know?
actually 4, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been interesting.
That's great though. Good job. Yeah. That's why you're gold.
So yeah, there are people I don't even know, and all of a sudden they're coming into my circle, and I go, okay. Somebody goes, well, where do you find them? I said, they just show up.
Yep.
When you show up, they show up.
So, does anybody else have any more questions? So what have we learned tonight?
Write some scripts.
And you got to remember, they don't
I thought you were going to share yours with us, Ashley.
Which one? I mean, I can share my appointment setting script. The actual appointment script is a little lengthy.
Well, that would be cool. Do you have that in the?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have that. I literally could say it in my sleep. I've said it and typed it probably 1,000 times since I've learned it. But the great thing is that like when you're talking to somebody, the way the script is written, when oils come up in any capacity or they ask any type of question or any interest is expressed, it rolls right into my appointment script. So instead of vomiting all my oil knowledge on them, you know, at that T-ball game I'm sitting at, you know, I set up an appointment. So, you know, if we're talking about oils or I'm using something like, oh, what is that? Oh, you know, it's an essential oil. Oh, that's cool. You know, how do you use them? And then I say, well, what I usually do is set up a short appointment to go over your health goals, a little bit about doTERRA, some of the most popular oils. We can do it in person, over the phone. My part takes about 30 minutes. You don't have to buy a thing if you don't want to, but if you do see something you like, I can certainly get you hooked up. Does that sound like something you might be interested in scheduling or setting up? And usually they say, yeah, because it's all about them. It's only 30 minutes. It's over the phone. They don't have to buy anything. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? And so then they say, yeah, and I offer them 2 options so they can easily, you know, pick what's better for them, and we schedule it. Most people want appointments after you use that script, if they have any interest in oils.
So how do you do the first appointment? I mean, you don't, if they're a distance away from you and they can't actually smell the oils, and how do you describe it to them? How do you manage that part of it?
People don't buy oils for how they smell. I've come to the conclusion, like at least most people. Some people do when they smell them will buy them because of the smell. But, you know, people buy oils from me because the oils that I sell, I have taught them how to deal with their headaches, with their children's immune issues, or, you know, their sleep, or like I've helped them solve some of their problems. And that's all they care about is their problems being solved. They don't care about what lavender smells like if it makes them sleep through the night, you know? And so it's really all about just meeting their needs in so many ways. And the great thing about the Emerge system, the Emerge scripts, is it's truly the most impactful way to serve people best. Because it's very effective in getting, you know, what Emerge says, hashtag kits on dressers. Your way to serve people is to get oils in their hands, because we know how powerful these things are. So our job is to sell oils. That is the best way you can serve them, is to sell them a kit. And I know that sounds so weird. I had to get over that whole word sell at first, because I don't sell oils, I share oils, right? That's what I don't sell oils, I share oils. But no, I sell oils, and that's how I serve people. So that's
do you have them try it or sample it at all?
The only time I've actually, that's funny you bring up samples. I used to sample a ton of oils. I carried around that big 64 sample CD case everywhere I went. I was giving oils away everywhere. I hardly ever sample anymore. I actually send more samples to new wellness advocates after we do their membership overview and say they're struggling with sleep. You know, there's like 50 sleep oils. Well, I suggest a couple for them to buy, but then I'll send them samples of 2 or 3 more to try. And so I sample more to my new customers than I do leads and prospects.
Okay.
I will send samples as a very, very last resort. If through the appointment they don't want to enroll, they don't want retail, they don't want any of that, then I do offer to send some samples and let the oils do some of the heavy lifting.
I usually find I'm handing out deep blue packets because everybody hurts somehow.
No, that's great. There's nothing wrong. I'm not discouraging sampling. I've just found that I don't need to do it.
Right.
I've found the same thing. The more I've used the Emerge, the less I've sampled, and the more I'm using my oils for the people who are on my team. And it's been better because those are the people who have committed to being in your circle. So yeah, it's great to oil the world, but you want to, you know, the ripple effect really is from the people who are on your team. And, you know, it also prevents you from oiling up people who just really want sample after sample after sample, and they don't ever really want to commit. They just know that you're going to give them a sample because you've got a big heart. And going back to kits on dressers, one of the biggest phrases that both Tasha and then my coach was Kasha, which is
mine. She's awesome.
Tasha and Kasha.
Not confusing.
Their biggest thing was, if you are really out to serve somebody, you can't serve them by educating them on how lavender works. And then they need something for the use of lavender, and there's not lavender anywhere in their house. You haven't served them. They know all the benefits of lavender, but they don't have any because you haven't sold them any. And you didn't ever ask them, would you like to buy a kit? So if that whole phrase, would you like to buy a kit, is really making you kind of want to throw up, we have an oil for that.
And a script.
And a script. And that's exactly what Kasha told one of the ladies in our coaching session. She's like, if you can't get over that phrase, you need to put on one of your oils and you need to read your script. And she's like, there's a couple oils you need to choose from, but you need to read your script. Because you have to get the kits on dressers, because it just doesn't serve anybody. If their kid has a fever and is throwing up, they need peppermint and digestin. They don't need, oh, I have all the information right here. it's not going to do, that's like saying, you know, it's really great on how your car looks, and, you know, that brochure on the new car when you don't have the car to drive you where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So
I usually tell them that if you get this kit and you've got these 10 top oils, and you call me tomorrow night because you've got whatever ailment, I can usually walk you through how to use them for anything that you've got going on.
right.
I call them the medicine cabinet oils.
Exactly. Yep.
So, well, we're about up to our hour. Does anybody else have any questions? Well, thanks everybody. Thank you, Ashley, for joining us. I hope this was
Thanks for
helpful.
having me. It was fun.
On you know, focusing on enrollments, focusing on the aspect of getting in and you know, using the phone, and just, you know, no oils, just a phone, and using a script, and diving in and using that, you know, taking that 20-30 minutes a day to, you know, it could be 10 minutes with voicemails, it could be 30 minutes, and you do a phone appointment maybe a day, and it could result in, you know, depending on how many of them you do a day, you know, 1 to 5 to 7 enrollments a week, depending on how good you can close. It all depends on how much you want to enroll. My computer is really acting weird. The screen just went really dim, and then it went really back bright. That's I'm not touching anything. So it's really kind of up to you on how fast you want to grow your business, how much you want to take charge, and where you want to grow in this business. But this, you know, enrollment is key. So taking this skill and making it happen will serve you well. So thanks for joining us.
What was I just going to say? 1 out of every 8 enrollments on average turns into a builder. So if you want to figure out, so if you want to look at the year and say, okay, I need 3 builders to hit silver, 3 times 8 is what? 24. So you need 24 enrollments. So you can really kind of, and then that's okay, 24 divided by 12. I need 2 enrollments a month to hit silver. Okay, that's not a lot. Okay, hopefully you're doing more than 2, but definitely a quick way to do that is do that emerge train. If I could offer anybody any single piece of advice, it's pay the $297, get the emerge training with the coaching. If you're a go-getter, you can do it on the $197 without the coaching, but the coaching is helpful. And emerge, nothing will ever be the same with my business. I'm no longer running crazy. I run my business doesn't run me.
Yeah, and if you've already taken it, you still have lifetime access. Go back and review all your stuff.
I've done it 3 times now with mine. I've gone through it 3 times.
Seriously, look at recreating your scripts and make them work for you, and start working your scripts. It's key.
Find someone to practice with.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yep.
I practice on my 4-year-old. He loves it.
It's just prior training for the future.
Right.
You gotta have my training early. You gotta get him started early.
He's gonna be another leg in like 14 years.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks guys. We're gonna end the recording.